There's 2 matches to go. We go to the big boys coming up for Cuesta. Jeff Mercer, one of our sophomores. And we talked about USC having the advantage of being a 4-year school, having some older kids. Jeff might qualify as an older kid for Cuesta.
Yeah. This is a great kid, or a great guy.
Real intense. And then we have Dennis Ruon here for USC. So this could be fun.
Oh, so he takes off.
Tell us a little,
strong
tell us a little bit
kid.
about more
He's a
Mercer
strong
here. Tell us
kid.
a little bit about Jeff here. You've gotten to know him over the last couple of years.
Well, yeah, it's special about him. I mean, he was in the Marines for many, several years. I'm not sure, 4 or 5 years. He's in the Marines. Kind of went back to get his education, and he's here, and he's a 4.0 student, and just a great guy, great role model for the rest of his teammates. I've enjoyed watching him. He had a big win here against West Hills. It was a great tight match, and he threw someone in the 3rd period, pinned him, and like you said, you'll see him. He's a big, strong kid.
And I think Mercer's just absolutely muscling here on Ruon. He's got a head, he's got a leg. I don't know how much old Dennis is going to be able to do here with the Marine on him. and that's going to be the match right here. We're going to give you a 1st period pin here. Not quite yet. Mercer's trying to show it. It's not gotten it yet. Ruon's fighting for his life here. He's got to hold for a minute 48 if he wants to save that buzzer to save him. And he's not. When you get yourself in trouble like that, there's not much you can do, huh?
Yeah.
So Mercer picks up another pin for Cuesta. We go to 48-3. Cuesta's advantage over USC Trojans. This is the USC Trojan club team. They were 4th in the conference last year. Cuesta's next match will be against the Sacramento State Hornets. These are club teams, so I'm not sure if I'm officially allowed to call them Hornets and Trojans, but we will for the sake of this show. We haven't got any protocol for that. And so here we are, the heavyweights. This is Wes Brown from USC and Jared Dorado, Cuesta. And for some heavyweights, a lot of action. Usually it looks something like if we went up to Peters Blancas, you got some kind of looks like that. These are 2 svelte, quick heavyweights out there, and made a lot of quick movement.
Jared's from the Pomo. Again, a freshman. Actually, a big, strong kid too. He's done a nice job this year so far too.
Heavyweight at the community college level is anything over 197. Brown wrestles at 235 for USC. Neither of these guys are much over. They will not be touching 285. Neither of these guys.
I don't think so.
But again, Brown's got himself in trouble, and Dorado, who's 2-6 on the year, but he's wrestling some guys who are up to 285 so far. So he gives away a lot of size at this weight class, but he seems to have gotten Brown in a precarious position here.
Hey, might as well mention now too, Pete, we have the Meathead Movers Invitational coming up on Saturday, October 26th, where just about every team in the state, there'll be 20-some teams, maybe 18, 20 teams here at Cuesta, and that's a great.
Meathead Movers has been so fun to watch that develop over the years. Not only because we have alumni in charge of it, but to see the event start from 10, 15 teams to everybody in the state. This is the premier event in the state now. It's really grown, and it's really a fantastic event.
Yeah. Then, as you mentioned, Aaron Steed with Meathead Movers
Right.
has been so supportive of that with everything, with the awards. And you look at this mat here; they've donated the mat, but it's a great event because it brings the North schools and the Southern California schools together at a neutral site. And like I said, it's very competitive. California Community College Wrestling is actually very, very good. So when we say our kids are ranked 2nd or 4th or whatever in the state, that's pretty impressive because it's a good level of wrestling.
And of course, hopefully, Cuesta coach Joe Dansby's dad comes out here and does a great job with the barbecue.
That's one of the highlights. Yeah.
That is a highlight. As soon as these guys weigh in, they go right over there. You don't want to have too much barbecue before you get on the mat, though.
Yeah. But I think you look at this. I mean, look at our kids today competing with USC and Sac State, and if those are conference schools, I mean, we're right there. I mean,
Brown a little frustrated, but he's got 8 seconds left to try and do something here before we head to the second period.
Well, the next match here now, Sac State, are they going to have a little bit fuller team or what?
We should have more matches, exactly. There will be 7 matches in the next against Sac State. USC went down to 6, so Cuesta had 4 forfeits, so that's an easy 24 points for the Cougars. And that got them halfway to their 48-3 lead. You add another 4 pins, and we're at 48-3.
It looks like some of our lighter weights will have an opportunity to wrestle George, Sakis, and Purdy and Clemenson, so that'll be good to see those guys shortly after this match. So shortly after this match, we'll be picking up the Sac State match.
So again, as the second period begins, Dorado remains in control. We're just finding we are going to go. USC is going to go one more extra match. It's an exhibition officially, so it won't count in the score. But Jacob Purdy, the freshman out of Grass Valley, will get a chance to go against Sigalski, the captain of the USC. Sigalski's 3 points in his initial win. The difference for USC, that's the only points USC has today. And we have a blood timeout here. This is always a factor here. And we have trainers gloving up, getting the blood down. Recently, in the last few years, it's become a much greater concern with blood and bloodborne pathogens.
So, Pete, let's talk a little Cuesta College athletics. As you know, you're the women's head women's water polo coach, and off to a tremendous start. A couple tournament wins under your belt, and actually doing very well right now. So, proud of what your team is doing right now.
I've really enjoyed this group. We're pretty much all freshmen. We have 1 sophomore back from last year, but it's the freshman group, which makes them a little up and down and a little inconsistent, but. They fall back here and there out of collegiate water polo style that we've been trying to teach them the last month, but they bounce back real well. They're a lot of fun, and they have a lot of energy. And
well, you'll have a couple Cal Poly.
Watching them develop.
Yeah, it's good. You'll have a couple Cal Poly events coming up here. You compete against them here in a couple Wednesdays. Next Wednesday.
We'll do a men's and women's doubleheader the next 2 Wednesdays. 2 of the next 3 Wednesdays. The men will play Cal Poly, and the women will play Cal Poly. As we also add an extra game, and that's one of the things that both Coach Marsh, the men's coach, and I do, try and get as many games in with our kids, because one of the things with SC, and you could look at the wrestling roster, or with Cuesta, you look at the wrestling roster, we have so many kids from outside the area, and so many different styles of wrestling, so many different styles of water polo, so many different styles of soccer, that put the pressure on the coaches to try and get them all into one system to play well as a team. So it's and wrestling you're not playing as much as a team, but to fit a collegiate style, sometimes smaller schools you might be able to bully your way through. But as we head to the third period, and Dorado with a commanding 10-0 lead. So here we go into the final period of the scoring set part of the match with the Cuesta versus USC. Again, Sigalski and Jacob Purdy will match up in an exhibition match before we go to Cuesta versus Sacramento State. So here we go.
Yeah, we've been mentioning how young this team is, freshman in your squad with the women's water polo team and men's cross country. We looked at the board, our rosters over all of our sports right now. They're pretty young squads. So that's
women's volleyball, 1 sophomore. The 3 sophomores out there. Women's soccer, 3 great sophomores, or 4 great sophomores. We have a redshirt sophomore out there, so we have 4 great sophomores out there. Every roster seems to be young this year. So
That's good. And actually everybody's competing really well with those young kids, and so going into next year, we have a lot of high expectations.
Yeah, I think all the coaches. I mean, the men's water polo team will lose Brady Moore, the returning conference MVP, but he's having another great season right now, so it'll be great to watch him at the next level. But he's going to leave a big hole to fill for men's water polo. But they have a solid young group out there, and I'm sure they'll find a way to make that work for him. Coach Marshall always seems to do that. And we talked about out there at cross country, they have one sophomore, Chris Pavlokovich, but he's in 5 races. He's led the Cougars in 1 race. In 5 races for the men's cross country team, we've had 4 different leaders for the men's team.
Oh, really?
So it's really interesting to see the depth that they have. And the last week they were second at the Santa Barbara City Beach Invitational. And they have 2 weeks to train before the conference championships. So Dorado back around on top, all the way through, and now he's going for the pin. He got the other takedown. I don't think he's going to have position here. He's going to work a little bit more as Brown gets back onto his belly. And we'll roll out the mat there. That is a
major decision.
Major decision, 15-0. He picks up his 5 points. So Cuesta is pin, major decision. And so only